to Sammy, who says, you know what? Valverde is not as valuable as that one. Anyway, again, continue talking to us. Someone asking me whether I'm sure this didn't deserve a review. What is this? Let me see. It's that handball thing he was saying. Yeah, Safariant, I don't think it did because of the distance between the Arsenal attacker and the guy who hits the ball hits on his hand. I think it was too close. The Liverpool defense is so leaky anyway. A first touch by Salah was out of this world. Not forgetting that first goal from Liverpool was class. And hold on. Someone has written there about Manu versus Newcastle. Manu charged with breach of FA rules. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool charged with breach of FA rules. Tottenham charged with breach of FA rules after their game, and Arsenal charged. I stand to be corrected. That's Andiwo. I'm not quite sure. I don't keep up too much with discipline things, but yeah. And then Joseph says he's listening. Great show. Saji says Enzo is going to be a star, but I think he should stay at Benfica for the rest of the season. The market went crazy a long time ago. I agree with you. The market is really mad for the most part. And then Kalivi says yes, because it meant Arsenal was going to probably score in the last minute, and PG, the referee's body and FA have their favorites. I like these conspiracy theories. Everyone has a conspiracy theory why this is happening and that's not happening. I like it. I really like the fact that we all, at times we don't think things can just happen because they happen. I actually like Lopetegui's explanation where he was, let's just agree the ref made a mistake. It was like, that's a mistake. Though he went on to say he doesn't understand. He thinks there is no offside. Which again I think is interesting. Yeah, and Timothy says talk about Klopp, and this is an interesting talk about Klopp and the 7th season syndrome. He tends to flop in it. Dortmund, Mainz, and now at Liverpool. That thing has been said over and over again about his 7th season syndrome.
Yes, and I think maybe something that contributes to it, his style of play, the heavy metal kind of football. Gegenpressing. So some players by the 7th season, if you're not refreshing your squad by the 7th season, they have run down. Just what is happening to Liverpool. They look so tired. Their legs they can't run anymore. And I think it's just an effect of that. And you're not refreshing your squad. Because personally, I thought by when we won the league and the Champions League, we would have started reinvesting in the team, getting more younger players. Buying younger players, quality players, and introducing them pole in the team, so that when you face out the old guards, the Hendersons and the Fabinho, you have younger players who are hungry. So it continues, but tulingoja sana. we didn't, and then I think it's something else. It's Liverpool owners as well. Hawana pesa. I don't know.
They're selling the whole club.
Yeah. And then that's another worry for me on a personal level, because the club was supposed to be sold. I don't know, it was partially or kidogo, it's the whole thing. And then now that story has gone so quiet. Okay. Julian Ward has gone. And then they brought in another one. And it was Edwards was the first one to go. Ward came in. Ward also said Mimi pia natoka. So I don't know what is happening.
Bit of instability.
There's a bit of instability as well. And I think it's affecting directly or indirectly. So there's a lot of things, moving pieces at the moment at Liverpool. Nanile, we just need to weather the storm. And then now get back to it.
Bernardo says Pep's problem is not doing subs and also wrong combinations. I don't know why he started with Cancelo and Walker at the same time, for example. Bernardo, I can answer you that one. It's because he went with the 3-5-2. And I think Cancelo is just going through a torrid period in his career where nothing seems to go the way it should go. You know? Gashigwa tuned in from Nyahururu. Funny how everyone thinks we won't play in the Champions League later on in Europa, where we're not even halfway through the season. The difference between 2nd and 10th is just 14 points. Gashigwa, you're assuming 14 points is easily to close. John says Valverde is older than Enzo for sure. Enzo is more valuable. What I was telling you guys off here? Instead of someone telling us because he said so. Anyway, someone has told me that I'm unhappy because Luke Shaw is playing well in centre back. Why is this? Wokabi is mad that Luke Shaw is a better centre back than VVD.
Come on.
That brings us nicely to that Manchester United of Sammy. Happy?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Very happy with how Manchester United are playing. 10 wins in the last 11 games, and after the World Cup break they have won all games, and they're not those kind of 1-0 wins that you had referred to. We are thrashing teams 3-0, one against Everton in the last game. And what I'm happy about is that some of the players who are in the fringes, you look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka at some moment, he got in after the World Cup, played well. Same to Luke Shaw, who was now shifted in as a centre back. doing a very good job keeping clean sheets out there. Terrell Malacia is being put up at left back, doing a good job. Casemiro, I think there are so many guys who are eating humble pies based on what they had assessed Casemiro to be, and after his move to Manchester United, they thought he was finished. He is not finished. One of the best midfielders we have right now. And of course, up front, Marcus Rashford scoring the goals like he is, and there being a clear identity of how Manchester United are playing. I'm really impressed.
Wow. I'm surprised you didn't talk about the gear.
Well, that's not something I'm not impressed in. So hiyo tutaongelea, lakini based on how positive things are, they are good.
So first things first, yes, a win is a win. I'm just wondering the teams United have beaten in the last 10 games. So they beaten Everton in the FA Cup 3-1.
Yeah.
They beat Bournemouth 3-0.
Yes.
They beat Wolves 1-0. They beat Nottingham 3-0. They beat Burnley in the League Cup 2-0. They lost to Betis. They lost to Cadiz. Those were in those friendly things.
Friendlies.
And then they beat Fulham 2-1. And they beat Villa 4-2. Yes.
Then lost in that one against Villa before.
So that's what I was just checking to see the quality. Times it's good to do contextualize something and just see. So what are the of course you beat whatever is in front of you.
Yes.
But I think it's been a nice kind, they call it a nice kind run of fixtures. It's been a kind run of fixtures. Just that helps you sort of
get your rhythm.
Yeah. So but it helps with confidence. It helps with building the team as it is going on when they get to the tougher games. The tougher run of games where you then have to play, like you said, your Tottenhams, your Newcastles, or whatever it is as the season goes on. So yes, I'll give United that. As for players being super great, I like the players that you're picking, but I want my focus is on the expensive ones. Now Casemiro has surprised me in this sense. He was really good at Madrid, but even if you put our own Victor Wanyama at Madrid, he'd look world class because of everyone else around you. So I was curious to see what he would do when he was now without Toni Kroos and Modric and your defenders behind you and Cristiano up front. And he surprised me because most DMs, once they turn 30, it's downhill. And if you look in the recent past, how many DMs are doing it at 32, 33? At the very high level. There's none. All the best DMs in the last 3 years, where are all they? Where are they? They're all either injured or on their way out. Busquets, N'Golo Kante. So he surprised me in the fact that he seems to have to thrive in the more responsibility and the fact that he can actually play going forward. I like that about him. He's been really good. United are exactly where I think is their bare minimum. This is where Sammy and I disagree. United are at their bare minimum because a club of United stature, the bare minimum is to be in Champions League. Everything else underneath that is nothing. So you fighting to get into Champions League for me is good is what is expected of you. That is the first thing you're supposed to do. Now if they go on and challenge for the title, then I will be there and say good job, great job. As it is exactly what is expected of you. United should be almost always around, or maybe I'm too old. I remember the days when United were hardly ever fourth. Forget fourth, third. Between 1992 and 2013, United were hardly ever not first or second. First, second, third, once in a while. So I am used to that being the United bar that United must strive to reach. So I get the happiness and the excitement from United fans. Oh, we are now at the same level. But I'm like, no, you have, especially given the amount of money spent, I think you have to be there.
Yes, and I think as well, Ronaldo, Cristiano leaving as well, it has imetoa hiyo the negativity that it happened there. Even now the younger players, because when Cristiano came in, Rashford fell off. So I think now when he's left, now the younger players, Rashford is doing much better, and I think now they're starting to figure out that spine. That spine because between the DM and the defense, as well as the
so Varane at the back, De Gea, Varane, Casemiro, and then maybe Martial at the top. Though I saw him this morning saying that Martial just can't deal with playing a game every third day. Like his physical condition is not good enough. He just can't. That's why he finished a game this season, 90 minutes.
No, I can't think of one.
Most of the so they're like that's why, and which brings us nicely to the fact that poor man's Peter Crouch, he's been heavily linked with Manchester United. Wout Weghorst, linked heavily. Yesterday he scored and then he said goodbye to the fans, is what they say. Though the coach, Besiktas coach, later on said, I know he said goodbye, he seemed to say goodbye to the fans, but we've got to have a conversation. He's really, really determined to, I was reading that just now on The Athletic, he's really determined to go back to the EPL and show there's something they missed with him when he played for Burnley. Remember, he's on loan at Besiktas from Burnley. Now, the complications is that Besiktas had a loan with an option to buy of 10 million pounds or something like that at the end of the season. So you'd have to break that agreement between Besiktas and Burnley for him to go back to Burnley and then get loaned to United. So that's the tricky bit. And then in the same vein, like you said, Cristiano has been a major factor in all this. So Cristiano moves to Al Nassr, and then Al Nassr, then their main striker is now getting released. Vincent Abubakar, they say he's on his way. He's got two places he will go to. Either he goes to England or he goes to Turkey. Now, I understand why Al Nassr want this guy out. They want nothing in the way of their golden egg, which is Cristiano. Now, I have a feeling because Abubakar has been linked to United. So I have a feeling it's going to be a swap. Either he goes to Besiktas and Weghorst goes to United, or Weghorst stays at Besiktas and Abubakar goes to United. Question to the United fan: which one would you prefer, Abubakar or Weghorst?
I think looking back at how Manchester United played in the last game and what Eric Ten Hag was mentioning about Martial's movement, I think I would go for Weghorst. I think I watching the Bundesliga, I had some very good glimpses of him at Wolfsburg, and he was a really good striker. I was scoring double digits every season, and so that lacked at Burnley, of course, with the kind of football that Sean Dyche plays, which is understandable. So getting him younger and probably having the chance to maybe snap him up on a permanent contract, I think that gives
loan deal.
Yeah,
the deal is loan. Because United have no money to spend in this period.
Yes.
They're like, everything is loan. Everything. Even the other strikers they are looking at, because there's quite a number. Everyone they're looking at loan. Whether it's Memphis Depay, whether it's, hold on, let me just find it for you.
Or Morata.
Yes, they are looking. Everyone they are looking at is supposed to be on loan. They say we have no money to do those. It's Memphis Depay, Choupo-Moting, and Abubakar.
All right. So my idea is, if we can get a guy that can get a number of goals within that period, that we definitely need a striker. And looking at how Martial has been playing, I think that would really marry with what Weghorst offers, even looking at his form at Wolfsburg. After that, maybe if he impresses, then he could get a permanent deal, I guess.
Yeah, they would then decide. And then, of course, if Burnley tukirudi juu tunaweza muitisha. Sema, please come back here.
Yes. So that's why I would go for Weghorst, and nothing on Abubakar. He would still be a good option, but I would love to see Weghorst bring the form that he had at Wolfsburg into the Premier League.
I think the one thing United must do is end this patch-up striker thing.
Exactly.
That has to be their next main thing.
Yes.
There's been too many of those ones. Zlatan, Igalo, this Uruguayan, Cavani. I think it's about time they have to figure it out and say, this is the guy, this is our guy, and they go with it.
And I guess a loan deal would be a very good option for you, so that you can gauge him, especially in January, because you don't want to bring in a striker straight on a permanent deal and probably doesn't work out. So for a loan deal, it would work out perfectly, that shows good form, and maybe you're interested in him and you bring him permanently for the beginning of the next season. You'll at least have some good time playing in and blending in with the team, so that would be perfect for United.
And can I throw something in on that? Maybe at the end of, let's say in the summer, can United go for Harry Kane?
Interesting debate. Yes.
Will Tottenham allow it?
Yeah, that's the first question. Second, number two, now it comes that whole age thing.
Yes.
You look at Harry Kane, he's what, 29?
He's 29 heading to
30.
30.
He's 30. So do you want a 30-year-old, or do you want to go back, especially when other teams are getting 22-year-olds and 23-year-olds? So what do you do? I think he was a great option 2 years ago.
Yes.
Or 3 years ago. Now they might just decide no. I think Kane's window to move to a big team has shut. He's going to end up like worse than Alan Shearer. He's going to have all the records, all the goals, but he's never going to win anything. Maybe a cup.
Yeah,
but I just think it's done.
I also thought Son would get
Well, I don't think that is that old when you think about it, especially going with the record that he has already set. Getting him to another Premier League club, I think you buy the promise that this is a guy who's used to scoring.
And he's a proven
goal scorer in the Premier League.
He has won the Golden Boot 3
Yeah,
times.
there's still a window for him to
But-
put up big numbers.
But the question is, which top team will sign Harry Kane?
Yeah,
They're saying United. In this case, they're talking about United. And I'm like,
necessity,
the time
United
is
doesn't
up.
have a striker.
now I'm like, it's okay, yeah, but I'm asking you, are you going to our resident financial expert? How much is Harry Kane? How much would he be worth?
Thinking it in the books of Daniel Levy, I think it would be 100 plus.
Now, would you spend 100 plus on a player who you know he has 2 years max going, maybe 3 at most?
I don't think we know that. And looking at how he's been playing, even in the last few games that he's played, I think he has
You can use
around-
precedents. How many players who are aged 30 who've cost 100 million? I think it's only one.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's currently playing in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Another cost
just
that
by
much.
the fact that he's a proven goal scorer in the Premier League, I would have him. I would have him. And this again now is working even tirelessly for the
Sammy,
club.
what course did you do in university? Because clearly it's not accounting.
Wow.
It's clearly not accounting.
Yeah.
It's clearly not accounting.
And you know, I'm looking at it from a Daniel Levy kind of view.
No, look at it from a United point of view because they're the ones buying. Stop looking from a
I
selling
don't-
point
I-
of view.
yeah.
Looking from the buying guy point of view.
Yeah.
How much would I spend and why would I spend it?
Yeah.
And does it make sense? Because you have to also look at what has been United's policy of buying players under the Glazer administration. Then see why they would change all that to get a 30-year-old guy.
Yeah, for 100 million,
that-
they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
That's
Man
your
United.
homework.
Yes.
That's your homework. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Valente Mugande and I love listening to Nation FM 96.3.